tinfoil hat. Oh, what the fuck are you guys even talking about?
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
Good morning, Swarm, and welcome to Tinfoil Hat. You know I am. You know I'm here to do. I'm here to join me as always, Xavier Guerrero, and on the ones and two, Jay Nice, Johnny Woodard. How are you guys?
Oh, long day. Good episode, though.
Good episode.
I really like this guy.
We had Daniel Ayala on. Mr. Marvelous Inc. came, dropped the hammer of the gods. Now, if you looked at the time, this is a little shorter show than normal because we were having a bunch of Zoom problems and we had to have Daniel call in. It's still a great episode, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I am going to attempt to make the meeting of the Mexican minds and get Xavier, Daniel, and Eddie Bravo all in the same room together at some point. We'll have a Mexican summit of conspiracies. Maybe we'll get Esoteric Eddie to come in town and just blow it out and just have a quinceañera in this room, whatever that is.
Quinceañera.
Quinceañera. There we go. I just lost all of our Mexican listeners. Guys, listen, the Weirdo Tour, full effect, starts tonight. Tonight, we are young. Come on, Johnny, get in, dog.
I didn't know what you were singing because you were so far afield with that melody. I mean, that wasn't even close to
Johnny,
what that song is.
that's rude, and you're done with me. Done.
Well, you're done
You're
singing,
out. You're
so.
number 2 now. You're number 3. Power rankings.
Moves
Power rankings. Guys, I need you guys to go samtripoli.com. Check out my dates. Tonight, I am in Morris Plains, the Dojo of Comedy, tonight, tomorrow night. And then I'm also, tonight is Thursday. I think this is coming out on Thursday. Tonight is the 5-year anniversary. And then Friday and Saturday, I am doing my sets for the people of New Jersey. So go grab your tickets at samtripoli.com. Then the world famous comedy store for the greatest show on earth, Comedy Chaos, live, 8 p.m. And then following weekend or the next 2 days later, Spokane, Tacoma, that's 24th, 25th, Eddie Bravo, Xavier Guerrero, myself, and then Bloomington, Minnesota. That's right, the House of Comedy. I'm there with Tino Sanchez and Andrew Raffi. I'm bringing Mexicans and a gay Jew with me to rock, crush. Look who's open. I'm checking all the boxes in Minneapolis, okay? Go check that out. That's March 2nd through the 4th. And then on March 24th, myself, Zane Helberg, will be at the Crest Ultra Lounge in Yuma, Arizona. I don't know who else I'm taking. And then the following night, we are in Vegas for a private show for a large-breasted OnlyFans person. Again, if you want to see Tinfoil Hat, if you want to see any of my shows, I have premium content on rockfin.com. Tinfoil Hat, zeros for free, and a one episode of Deep Conspiracy Social Club, aka Deep Waters. Thank you to everybody who helped it become a top 200 comedy podcast. The investment podcast for patreon.com/cash daddies. Go check that out. If you want to make money, if you like making money, check out that Patreon. Howie Dewey is on fire. Anything else? Yeah, man.
New Broken Salmon's out, or will be out when this episode's out.
Yeah, it drops tomorrow.
Good one.
And then we got all of our affiliates. If you're looking for gold, you're looking for brown gas, you're looking for crystals, candles, all that stuff, you get nice discounts and taken care of. Their T-shirts, again, great way to support the show. Go all the way down. And again, we're shadow banned on YouTube. So what you got to do, go down, is you just go to samtripoli.com. It's all right there for you. All the tinfoil hats, all the broken Sims, and soon to be all of the Conspiracy Social Clubs right off of YouTube. So I know you like to watch it on your browser. You just click it there. Bang! It goes right there. Winner, chicken. Is that the latest Cash Days too? Yeah. So it's all caught up. All my podcasts, they're full of. Anything else, guys?
I actually got a show in Redlands with Rick Throne. Redlands this Sunday. Go get your tickets at eventbrite.com. Me, Rick Thorne, and Joel Jimenez.
Is it available on your Twitter or your Instagram?
Yes, go to samtripoli.com and it'll be available. I mean, at fullytoxic.com, it'll be right there.
Fullytoxic.com. Sounds like bad magic. Fully toxic.
Yeah, I know.
Ohio
I figured,
right now.
but it's fun.
Time to check. Yeah, if you're
like
in Ohio,
Ohio,
if you're in Ohio, XG apologizes.
Yeah.
Johnny, anything else?
Stay tuned after the show to hear us talk about the, quote, Chinese spy balloon and how it might have proven flat Earth in a clip from the latest Broken simulation.
Enjoy the show.
We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink.
All right, very excited for this episode. I guess I did a reaction video to something this gentleman was saying, and it got a ton of love on Instagram. Joe Rogan weighed in. It should be good. He's known as Mr. Marvelous Inc. Please welcome Dan Ayala. How are you, Daniel?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it and humbled to be a part of your show.
Well, we're honored and privileged to have you on. Your video did a ton of views. It was really cool, and I thought, man, this guy's on to something. So I'm very excited you could join us. Before we get into everything, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where our listeners can find you?
Okay. Well, my name is Daniel Ayala. I reside in East Los Angeles, California. Born and raised out here. I've studied under a handful of people, professors and stuff. Such I send you the info. Dr. Sabi was one of them, who I knew personally. Alfred.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he passed away. Due to some. They want to say it was a heart condition or something that he had, but I don't believe that. He was helping a lot of people in his teachings of bringing your body back to an alkaline diet. So I learned a lot from him about, different various foods to eat that were natural and organic, not the stuff that we're consuming today, which is, has a lot of plastic in it, rubber, that our body cannot break down properly. And, another man that, I never got the privilege to meet him, but, man, I learned so much from this man. He recently passed away, Rob Skiba. Last name spelled Skirda. I learned a lot from this individual as well. Very knowledgeable man on Bible prophecy, the breakdown of the flat Earth, which people call a theory, but it's actually not a theory. That was a new idea that was brought to the school system in the 1940s. Before that, it was taught in almost every school system that the Earth was flat. So a lot of people have a problem with that. They call it conspiracy. Another individual, Dr. Masuru Himoto Emir from Japan. I studied a lot of stuff from him. He's still alive. I believe he's still alive. All these people died, man. I feel like they're killing all these people that bring some truth to the table. I studied a lot of radio. It's called electromagnetic frequency, and what it does to the human body, or what vocabulary, what words would do. They're very detrimental to like our wording, the words that we use. It causes an effect or a mutation in, let's say, a blood cell, or just a lot of stuff. It makes a big transformation. So it could either make you or break you, is what I'm trying to get at.
So much to get into. You dropped a ton of information right there. Very excited. His Instagram, his YouTube is Marvelous Minds with a Z, Minds with a Z, 7267. All the links will be below in the description. His Instagram is Marvelous Inc. _tattoos. Check him out. I'm very excited to have him on. Your video, like I said earlier, got a lot of reactions. One of them was from Joe Rogan that said no, and I I thought that was hilarious. And then everybody jumped in, and there was a lot of defense of you and defense of me because I think a lot like you do. I think there's way more going on in this world than the powers that be want us to know, and that we're super powerful, and that there are very few of them and a lot of us, and they need to manifest us to manifest for them to do what their bidding is. So I'm very excited to talk to you. Where does your journey begin? Because, I go on the road with Mr. Eddie Bravo. I think I'll hook you guys up because I have a feeling you guys are going to vibe very well. I go on the road with Xavier Guerrero here. Latinos are the best. Mexicans. Why do Mexicans love conspiracy so much?
I don't know. I think we're. I don't want to say rebellious. I'll probably get a lot of people mad, but I think we're just like we like to question everything, man. We wanna be the ones to say, hey, you know what? I found this, or I made this, or make things better in a sense, And we just question everything, and I think that everybody should question. You should question everything. We're stuck in this cognitive state of mind where we don't question things. We're just content. We're satisfied with how we feel life should be going, and we're stuck in it's a pause. Like we're not moving forward in any way. Whether it's our job, our careers, in our health, or anything, we're just satisfied, and we just believe, we could only live 100 years. Like no. You could live over 160 years. You could live over 100. You could live a massive amount of time if you wanted to. If you brought your body back to an alkaline state, So I think just a lot of stuff is kept from us, And I think the school system, the indoctrinational system, has really manipulated all of us.
I completely agree with that. And again, we talk about this a lot in the show, but when everyone goes, everything a lie, I go, yeah, everything is a lie because it didn't just start overnight. This has been a plan that has been enacted minimum since the 600s, but I think it goes back even farther than that, way farther than that. And just this small group of people, whoever they may be, working with dark entities, in my humble opinion. We've had guests in the back that said there's no angels or demons, and that's okay. Everyone's allowed to believe what they want. But if you're asking me, there's light and dark in the universe. It's the law of duality. And
correct.
It's like if you listen to, the Hermetic principles and all that stuff, you can't, it's like I'm an alcoholic. I'm a recovering alcoholic, recovering drug addict. And, I go to meetings and I'll listen to someone who has 40 years calling themselves an alcoholic and drug addict, and you're like, well, why are you still calling yourself that? And it's because we always have darkness in us. We have the dark and the light, and I think that's in general. There is dark and light and everything, the law of duality, and these people who they work with, who they worship is a dark, low vibrational energy people. What really got me into you were talking about planets, and I'm very much into planets. We talk a lot about what the moon is on this show and what it really represents, but you were talking about these entities or these they could either be stargates or portals or whatever. Can you get into a little bit about your thoughts on the planets?
Right. So the correct pronunciation would be a planet. And a planet would be a frequency dimension, and those would be there. It's funny because in our culture, which we call cultura in the Mexica, those were of the 9 lower realms, and the 9 lower realms meaning that there's a above and there's a below, but it's not essentially like an upwards or a downward. It's just all around us. It surrounds us in energy, and there was bad energies from the 9 lower realms that created a hybrid race, which people know as the Nephilim, that came out of those 9 lower realms, and the higher 13 realms are of the heavens, and so that's where we get that from. Yeah, but yeah, go for it.
No, but I agree with you, and I do believe that falling angels and all that is really a big part of the demonic thing. So, we talked about Sam Smith and at the Grammys and the stupid looking like just, a fat guy in a devil suit. The devil suit looks like something a cougar would wear at her daughter's like Halloween party. And it's not edgy and it's not what they really worship. It's just edgelord stuff. They Moloch, Baal, Kronos. I think that's really what we're talking about. But when you start talking about planets and portals and dimensions, like I just really start looking at like whirlpools and the how those things kind of look and how those could be entrances to stuff. And I completely agree with you. Everything is a lot more interesting than they want us to believe, for sure.
Correct. Yeah. So yeah, it's funny because these planets that they named Mars, which is really named Marduk, Saturn, which is really named Saturnalius. These are energies, and they could manifest that into a bigger reality and use it against us. If they want to. Like the Saturnalius has to do with sex, pedophilia. Marduk is the evil of them all, Mars. And it's funny how they say, they have this big old thing on how we're reaching Mars, and that's the portal that they're opening, They talk about Hebrew a lot, which is, it's right above. You don't have to be in a certain state to see the double sun, but that's what they're calling, Hebrew, which they're blocking out with, chemtrails. And I believe Project Bluebeam blocks it out a lot too. I don't know if I'm pretty sure you know about Project Bluebeam.
Oh yeah, I think we're entering that right now in full force. Like with the I don't know what is triggering them, but they seem to be rushing their plans. Whether it's the Pfizer dumps or the Twitter dumps or all the stuff coming out about Biden, which it could also be psyops on psyops, but something seems to be triggering this desire to be like, oh yeah, we're shooting down stuff left and right, which makes me laugh that aliens who've traveled through space suddenly get shot down by Tom Cruise in a Top Gun jet.
For real. Yeah.
Just gonna let it slide by.
Yeah.
It's okay. Keep our shit.
It's like it really doesn't make any like they're getting sloppy right now. I feel like people like you, people like who listen to this show are getting more and more savvy to their tricks, and they're just getting sloppy. They're sloppy. They have it 10 times harder than their predecessors did. The psyops that they could run in the 1800s or the 1600s were so much easier.
Yeah, like Roswell. Like Roswell was so much easier back then than it is now. Like right now, you got articles us talking about it. Everybody's talking about it.
There's a permanent record of what they've done. So this whole thing with the pipeline is like so reminiscent of the Gulf of Tonkin and that whole lie. It's the same exact game plan because these lizards or whatever you want to call them aren't creative. So they run the same game plan over. So let's take a look at what's going on with the pipeline in Ukraine. Oh, there's an attack. But they weren't even smart because they're like, oh, Russia blew up their own pipeline, which makes no fucking sense, whatever, which was the story. But they're like, oh, we have to stop Russia from coming into the Ukraine because if they do that, then they're going to go to Poland, which was the exact same argument to go into Vietnam, which was like, we got to stop China from taking over Vietnam because then they'll go after all these other countries.
The domino effect.
The domino effect, which is a giant lie because Vietnam and China hate each other.
Right. Yeah, and not to be or strongly disagree with what you're saying, but you made a statement where you said they're getting dumber. I really don't believe that they are. Like, I think they want us to believe that we're finding out all this shit stuff, and I think it's all planned, bro. To be honest with you, I think that's all planned. That they want us to believe that we've stumbled across something, but because the agenda in the whether it's a reset, like they're calling it right now a great reset, where they destroy a third of mankind or however many they want to kill. I think it's it's going to happen no matter what if we find out certain things or not.
Yeah, I do believe that. I do believe. Well, here's my only objection to. I think they are moving forward, regardless of what we think. But
Right.
I think that as people wake up more and more, it's going to be harder for them to move forward. It was very easy for them to move forward when they had when their goals aligned with what the people wanted, right? So if you had a whole country we gotta stop communism. Look what the communists did. It's easy to get them to want to go into Vietnam and push back, even though Vietnam wasn't about communism. It was about the military-industrial complex and the golden triangle of poppy fields, which, let's look at it again. Here we are. Same story with Afghanistan. They just run the same plane. So what I meant to say is I think they're getting sloppy. I think they're trying to run these same plays as we have a playbook. They tried to run this play with Iran and the drone that they were like, Iran shot down our drones, and they want us to get sad for the drone and the drone's family and all that stuff. And it just never happened. It's getting harder for them. Like, they're constantly trying to push. They're like, a new flu virus, and everyone's like, no, dude. You kind of use that plan. And that's like my opinion. I could be wrong. You live in LA. I live in LA. We see people not just one mask on, two masks on. I talked about this on the last show. A buddy of mine's playing in a venue that is forcing today in 2023 vaccine cards. You got to have a vax card to get in 2023.
Right.
So
go for it, bro. My bad.
No, go on. Sorry.
So it's so funny, when all this stuff hit with that jab and all this supposed disease or virus that was out, the day before Nipsey Hussle, the rapper, died, we had a meeting at the mental health center in downtown LA, and it was about a program that the CIA has implemented, and it's funded by the federal government, and it was to use any smart device or cell tower against the people. And literally, like I said, frequency, vibration, electrical frequency vibration, it manifests a change in your body, in your circulatory system, in a blood cell. It literally could create cracks and tears, and that's where feelings come from. Like, when we're smaller or whatever, our parents or some of our parents taught us about feelings. And, hey, you got to watch out for your feelings or whatever. But what is the real definition of feelings then? If you come to find out later on in your life that it has to do with electrical frequency. So my definition, what I've come to find out is feelings are the physical manifestation of the frequency that's being admitted to you. So that's what we found out what was going on. And then all of a sudden, this whole virus breaks out. And it was part of an event called Event 201, which they use cell tower. And it started in Wuhan, China. And how funny, that's where the virus supposedly broke out by some lady eating bat soup in a fish market. I guess that was one of the narratives they pushed it. But to come to find out, it was a radio frequency or a magnetic frequency that was being implemented to the people, and people didn't have an understanding of it because they're not weathered in biology, and they don't know anything about the pineal gland and how that every day your frequency vibration is going down your 33 vertebrae, which is your spinal cord, manifesting change within your body. So say, for instance, you're listening to a song, or somebody tells you something. Like, I like to use the reference to a girlfriend and a boyfriend. You have a girlfriend or a wife, and you come home and you tell your wife, "Hey, babe, you're beautiful." So what I learned from Dr. Masaru Emoto was the word beautiful. If you say the word beautiful and even think it, it's the craziest thing. If you think it, you will manifest change into that little blood cell. It'll make the most beautiful design, bro. It's so intricate. It looks so nice. But if you say something like the B word, or like the bad one, or you say something really bad, it'll create cracks and tears in that blood cell. Now just picture all these blood cells being transformed and flowing through your body. It's going to either give you a good feeling or it's going to give you a bad feeling. So we found out that the Event 201, the frequency that they were using was way over 5G. And what it was doing, it was vibrating our pineal glands at such a rapid rate that it actually removed the oxygen molecule from the blood. Now, when that happens to the human body, it causes inflammation in the area that you might already be sick from. If you have diabetes, if you have tumors, it'll produce rapid growth, and you could succumb to those, that demise, so it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I completely agree with this. I mean, we go back. Listen, are you a terrain theorist?
A terrain in what sense?
There's two types. It's germ theory or terrain theory. And the terrain theory is that there's no proof of viruses. And some people believe that viruses still exist. But I'm of somebody that believes that what everyone thinks is viruses is really something called exosomes, and it's your body detoxing, and it's a super deep dive into that black belt shit. Very hard to discuss with people because when you go, hey man, I don't believe in viruses, they just start thinking you're a crazy person, but they don't realize that they've never, ever, and let me find this word real quick to make sure that I get it right, the term.
And before you finish, I totally agree with you.
Thank you. Let me get the term.
Are you talking about exosomes?
It's hold on. He gave me the term. It's not hold on. Fuck, my buddy told me about it. It's Cox postulate. It's called Cox postulate. And Cox postulate states that you can 100% prove that something causes something. It's proved in a lab. A great example is they've never been able to Cox postulates HIV turns into AIDS. It's never ever been proven. It's also never been proven that they could take a virus from one person and put it into another person. That's never happened.
So when does it go? When does it go from AIDS to herpes, from AIDS to fucking HIV? When do they consider one or the other?
Well, the truth is like the answer is never. They just tell you have AIDS.
Right.
That's what they told you. They start out as HIV, but then they tell you have AIDS. And what happens is that, so if you study like the 60s, right, the Haight-Ashbury was a giant free-range data collection. It was a free-range psych ward where they set up all these free clinics, and they just flooded the area with acid, LSD, and crystal meth. And then all these clinics were just data. They were just collecting data. And I guarantee you what they noticed was if you were on crystal meth long enough, your immune system becomes shot because you don't sleep, you don't drink, you don't eat, you don't do anything. I used to do speed. You all know that here. I did speed. I think I've done damage to my legs. That's why we talk about super heavy legs. I think I did damage to my legs because I wasn't getting enough water to them. I wasn't hydrating enough. So that's what they did. So they realized that if you're up enough days in a row, your white blood cell count is shit. And that autoimmune deficiency, that's exactly what it sounds like. They've never been able to do it. There's just studies, but they've kept it out. What are your thoughts on that, Daniel?
Well, I believe you're absolutely 100% right, bro. And a lot of these things that they come up with, these so-called diseases and shit, is to use these so-called experimental shit with, vaccines or whatever that are going to cure you, which I don't even believe that I don't even believe that they don't know, that they want to say, oh, well, we don't know, so we're in the testing trials. No, they tested this already. They know what it's going to do to you. They know it's going to kill you. Like they did when the whole AIDS thing blew up in Africa, and they tested that vaccine, and they said it was going to cure HIV or AIDS, and they said it was going to cure malaria, right? And they ended up injecting AIDS into over 2 million Africans.
Yeah. I mean, and I even question whether something is AIDS. I think they're just hitting them with all these other things and telling them it's AIDS and getting them on AZT. So, so I mean, like, they could do a million factors. Hey, what's your lifestyle? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, if they get you that, I mean, listen, man, we all realize through that false positives are the name of the game.
Right.
And that telling you have when you might just have the flu or you just might be tired or whatever. I mean, they got these tests cranked up to the top so it detects if you fart the wrong into the wind. You know, they test you for everything. So you fart in the wind, no, you got now. Now everyone's got, and you're taking these drugs and you're staying home and you're keeping 6 feet away, which one of our last guests, Chance, talked about. Your auras are 6 feet. Maybe our auras are meant to touch and all that stuff. Now you're 6 feet away.
That's like when you talk about the doctor asking you if you were gay before you got a test. It's just like, no, if you ask me, have you been around everybody COVID? And I said, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah, 100%.
Just like you, if you were like, you got it.
So I remember when I had the test for because there was a paper trail. I had somebody contact my management and go, I tested positive. I was at a show. So now there's a paper trail. I have to go and get tested. So I wish I hadn't, because I could get sued if for future shows if I didn't go get tested. I feel like
shit. Okay.
Because you don't know if somebody set me up. I'm very vocal. I'm very anti. They say you were informed somebody near you had it. The hysteria right there. I'll tell you what how bad the hysteria was. I'll tell you. So I go down and I get tested. They put this thing down way deep inside me. I'm like, what is going on? So, but through my nostrils all the way down. I come hour later. I get a call. Hour later. Oh,
right.
And the guy calls me, and you would think he's about to inform me of the most devastating news a man could ever inform another human being. His voice is like, oh, I don't know how I could tell you this, but you tested positive for it. And I'm like, what is going on here? Am I an Adult Swim right now? What is this, like, this drama you're doing right now? And how do you know this right now? So he tells me everyone around me is crazy at this moment, and I have to inform some of the craziest people I know that I have. At that moment, my brother walks in, who is a huge COVID head, scared, and I love him to death, but he was very afraid of COVID at the time.
Right.
He walks in, and I just got to be like, Jay, I just tested positive for COVID. You would think I just gave him the worst news he's ever heard. He kind of just gets this blank look over his face, starts walking around, hand to God, walks out the door, gets into his car, and drives to New York.
That's so crazy.
No.
Oh my God.
If you only consumed the news media.
My brother's great. I
I'm
love
saying,
my brother.
if your brother was only watching CNN for his news, he would think that that was a damn near a death sentence for you and possibly for him, you know, for being in the room. So
my brother drives in New York, gets tested negative. Everyone around me gets tested negative. Everybody. You're like, what are we talking about here? But it was, like Johnny was saying, the systematic rolling out. And then you start getting into, okay, everyone's inside. Suddenly these 5G towers are everywhere. You can't work out. You can't go gym. But, hey, man, you can drink alcohol and smoke all the weed you want.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this shit's pure insanity, bro, and the fear-mongering that they do.
So the reason I go into this long thing about viruses, if you go back to the Black Plague or the Spanish flu, I forget which one it is, that's when they rolled out electricity.
Mm-hmm.
That's where all of a sudden these electric wires are everywhere. And now people are just, you remember? Because forever we're like, now we know don't live next to power lines.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad energy right there.
Right.
Well, I mean,
you
your router, your Wi-Fi, everything, all that shit's bad for you now. Like, Sam's got my thing where I had to move my router out of my room because Sam's like, you can't have that shit. It was literally under my bed.
I unplug it every day. But the problem is that Dana's mother is like in care right now, and she has to have her phone by her at all times. So I take my phones, I put them in the other room, turn them off, put them in the other room. But She needs her close in case something's happened to her mom. Guys, real quick, I want to tell you about our good friends at Blue Chew. That's right. American-made boners for American-made ladies or dudes, whatever you're into. Let me tell you about Blue Chew. Let's talk about sex, baby. Guys, shouldn't you always be at your best? 2023 is the year to maximize your performance in the bedroom. Listen up. Go to BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra. Okay, buy a chewable tablet for a fraction of the cost. That's right. And you can take it anytime, day or night. So you can plan ahead or be ready whenever the opportunity arises. The process is simple. Sign up at Blue Chew, consult one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. Best part, all done online. So there's no visits to the doctor office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew tablets are made in the USA, and prepared and shipped directly to your door in a discreet package, okay? I love Blue Chew. These guys love Blue Chew. Who knows where we would be without Blue Chew, okay? We love you, Blue Chew. Man, your boners are the best boners. Number one boner, Blue Chew. Okay, so Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex, okay? Discover your options at BlueChew.com. Chew it and do it. So here's what we got. Special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use the promo code TINFOIL at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com. Promo code TINFOIL to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this podcast. Oh, yeah.
Do you any of you guys use a microwave still?
I don't, but I think people I know do, which makes me upset.
Right.
You can't be. I mean, the microwave. It's kind of hard not to be honest. Like even when you heat stuff up, it's just too much work. Wow.
Right.
Yeah, I do. I like. There's a lot of stuff that just shows up out of nowhere that you gotta go, where'd that come from? And I always was like, the microwave. Where did that come from? How did suddenly this technology's everywhere all the time?
That's how I feel about this.
Yeah.
Water bottle. Like when we have glass here, it's so much better. But like I said, this is so efficient. I just leave my house, I grab this and go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glass bottle. How often do you forget your bottle here?
Mm-hmm.
Your glass one. Johnny always carries his flask, but it's just like one thing. We're like drinking this plastic water that sits in Albertsons for how long?
Yeah.
In the sun, releases how many chemicals?
All of them.
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason why. Go on. Sorry.
I don't know if you guys ever did a story on the atrazine. You guys know about atrazine, right?
What is that?
So atrazine is a chemical that most of the Salinas Valley is watered with. The crops, vegetables, everything that we consume that comes from the Salinas Valley is watered with atrazine. And atrazine, what that does is it removes the testosterone from males and the estrogen from women, making depends how strong I guess you are, or I don't even believe that, but it makes them more feminine, young males, and women more, they started watering those crops around the 1970s. So if you look at the whole bump in the whole babe movement, it sounds pretty right, on point.
I completely agree. And like, that's why I get really mad at people when they, it's like, this is kind of, when I was on Alex Jones, I kind of pushed back on him because he's yelling about transgender movement and all that stuff. And I'm not saying there isn't an invisible hand pushing that stuff, but people are getting really mad at people that might be the victim of chemicals in the air and the chemicals they're eating and all that stuff to make, there's a reason why the men of even to the 80s look completely different than the men of 2023.
Well, I was reading this new theory saying that all the birth control, that the women are obviously putting it back in the sewage because they piss it out. It's not getting filtered, and eventually it's coming back to men. All that estrogen from the birth control. I don't look like super into it, but I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. If it's not getting purified or nothing, it just keeps getting its way back into it.
What are you saying the men look? Because the men from my grandparents' generation, they were all significantly shorter than we are.
Well, I mean, like in terms of masculine, feminine. Like there was, like, go back. There wasn't a lot of
I just see. I mean, I think it mostly had to do with nutrition, but so it's hard to.
No, men back in the days. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you guys off, but men back in the days, bro, they were men. They were a man. Like, you did man things. You got scolded like a man. Yeah. You don't be like, oh, I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna spank you. No, you got spanked or you got something thrown at your ass. Yeah. And now everything's it's a feminine agenda. I believe they're trying to make, women, no disrespect to women, but they're trying to make them equal to men, which, physically they're not, I mean, whatever. Yeah, we all have brains or whatever, but you can't, it's sad.
What they're doing is convincing women that the male part of the equation is the important part, and the part that you do if you want to be seen as an equal. But what they don't realize is that the feminine part is just as important. It's important to society. So Patrick Bet David, who I love all of his stuff, he just did a story, let me see if I can find it, about how women in the United States own almost 2 million more houses than men.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Is it through divorce? Like some of it?
I mean, that's definitely part of it.
You keep half the home.
Yeah, no, they make it. Yeah, they make it easier. They make it easier for them. It's a win-win for them, bro. Just like the child custody, the women are always afforded the child. Nothing's for men.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, so you have all these people talking about how gays are destroying marriage. No. The government destroyed marriage by making courts one-sided. Now, there are women who listen there, are single mothers dealing with piece of shit dads. Listen, man, I have kids. I respect moms who step up for their kids and don't get any help. And there's a myriad of reasons why it doesn't happen. I think if you bring people into this world, is your job to raise them correctly, because that is your mark on the world. That's just me personally. Again, I'm very much not judging anybody here. You gotta do you, and it is. But that's just me. I take my children very personal. Okay, but it basically takes a woman almost 51-50 for men to get an equal shot in a lot of these custody battles. Women make women make the decision for divorce in 70% of divorces.
Wow.
Right.
I mean, there's a reason for that. I mean, we've said on the show a thousand times, women make the rules of business. Now, again, we can get into exactly what I was saying about the chemicals making men feminine. There is a war on their psyche. There's a war on them. There's a war on, from the moment they're told they're lied about a 70 cents on the dollar, which, by the way, now is 83 cents. Where did that come from? How'd that suddenly change?
Did they put in there how much Rihanna made for the Super Bowl?
Oh, did we also talk about? I don't think they make money for the Super Bowl, but it's more about promotion. Are we taking in OnlyFans or Instagram models and the amount of money they make, and all these Instagram models who go to Dubai and get weird? Is anyone talking about all the money that Beyonce made for a 1-hour show in a private hotel? That sounds shady to me. But the point is, it's basically Bill Gates is lying with numbers. That book that he was reading, How to Lie with Statistics, that's what we're talking about. And it's bombarded on them, because what we get in this society is we want a society that says, if you are dating supermodels and living in a mansion, you're oppressed. And reality is that you are where you are based on the decisions you make and the actions you take.
Mm-hmm.
And culture is not your friend. What are your thoughts on culture, Daniel?
I think it's all they're spinning it the way they want it to go, bro. All this shit. They use their big power play is music. Music to influence the masses, and a lot of that is, again, I'll go with the frequency that's being embedded into the music, the sounds and stuff like that. People don't know it's the words that they're using in these lyrics, but it's also the frequency that's embedded in them with the spell casting that they do. That's where you get the whole thing of mastering a a mixtape or mastering an album or whatever, that comes from the master mason that performs this ritual on music. I don't know if you've ever read up on anything about that, but yeah, it's a whole ceremony where they get witches, and this is real stuff. People they want to look it up, they could see exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, so I think they're spinning their narrative. Like with the Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg thing, when they what was it? If you weren't rapping about killing or drugs or calling women bitches or whatever, I mean, you weren't going to make it. And there was a meeting held where a lot of rappers attended this meeting, and some of them walked out of that meeting. And these were people that weren't even in the music industry. Who were these people that told them which way they should go in their music career, what they should be rapping about, what's going to sell,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's all about that. They don't, and these kids, if you watch these kid shows or with these songs that these kids are singing, the beat is so intoxicating that they don't even realize the words that they're singing. And there's a song by Kanye, and he's the one who's trying to point this out, but it's about going to jail. And he just keeps saying that he's going to go to jail at night. Over and over and over again. You start singing that, you start to put that out to the universe.
No, I mean, on the way to Bakersfield, Sam's like, "Can you put some hip hop stuff on the way there?" And I put on some like pretty gangster shit. And then 5 minutes in, he's like, "Dude, turn this shit off." I was like, "It's just negative." What was her name that you didn't like her?
Glorilla.
Glorilla.
Gorilla Black. These are rappers' names, but this is all done on purpose. This is all it's like limited hangouts. Why do these people get the publicity? Because they're pushing a narrative that they want you to have, which is unhealthy and stupid, dangerous. The Kardashians promote a dangerous lifestyle, which is running and gunning with unavailable men that aren't going to be there to raise the kids. Now, I love Kanye, but let's face it, like everybody they hooked up with are just crazy ass and that's coming from a drug addict comedian. So you can put me in there as well. I mean, it's just the truth. I'm not judging anybody, but this is what's done. So you have all, look at MTV, the darkness at MTV, 16 and pregnant. That's like, why are you promoting that?
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you doing that? Because it's monkey see, monkey do.
I mean, the other day I was watching a documentary on Eminem, and I was like, why did he get promoted? Killing his wife, killing his girlfriend. It was real evil in the beginning, and you're like, why did this get pushed in for the white guy?
Yeah.
Instead of some positive message. I was watching this, I was like, as a kid, I was watching him like 8 Mile came out. I did not know how fucking crazy he was talking about, I want to kill my baby mama. Yeah. There's this whole thing where he pushes her off the building. He's from that group. And he's talking about to his little daughter about like, hey, I just killed your mama. And she's like, hey, yeah. And you're like, holy fuck, this is deep. And
that whole album.
The whole album is about that.
I mean, here's the whole thing. It's like people think that they only push forward untalented people. They push forward. Some of these people are extremely talented, so it's easier to push them, right?
He was like a bolt out of the blue when he, dude.
He lyrics wise, he was the best. But it's like what he sing about, dark ass shit, and you like wonder why he was surrounded by darkness. You wonder
how
why
that happens too. They get in the studio and they're like, oh, we really like these songs, and maybe he had some more positive songs that those just don't get picked. You know what I mean? That's how that happens.
Right.
Easy.
It's the most important statement. You said it, bro. When we first got on right now, they're having us manifest their reality. We're doing it when they have these concerts, everything. We're right here singing these lyrics. We're right here manifesting change with the words that we're using in a whole ceremonial thing that we call a concert. No, that's a ceremony. The same thing as we used to do as Mexica. The Mexica, and we used to have these ceremonies, where we would sacrifice not grown men, younger teenage or even children. We would sacrifice them. And what was that for? That was for the adrenal gland, the adrenal blood. You had to have your frequency at a certain range. It uses it just like a key to pass from portal to portal. And what were those portals? The pyramids.
Ever skipped a workout because of drinks the night before? Me too. If you ever committed to your health routine this year, you need Z-Biotics. Z-Biotics pre-alcohol, probiotic was invented by pH scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink alcohol, it gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. Z-Biotic produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. The first time I tried Z-Biotics was at Coachella, a 3-day bender. I was there partying. I drank a bottle of Z-Biotics before any alcohol, and I was amazed of how good I felt the next day. Give Z-Biotics a try for yourself. Go to zbiotics.com/tinfoil to get 15% off your first order when you use tinfoil at checkout. Z-Biotics is backed with 100% back money back guaranteed. If you are unsatisfied for any reason, your refund your money, no questions asked.
Remember to head to zbiox.com/tinfoil and use the code tinfoil at checkout for 15% off. Thank you, Z-Biox, for sponsoring this episode. So what are your thoughts on the pyramids? We've had people come on. Some have different theories on them. What's your thoughts on the timeline of humanity and history and hidden history?
So where my knowledge comes from that is it comes from the elders. So it's not literally from a book. Some of it's from books that I could give you, but most of it's from elders. When you sit amongst a fire with them and they tell you, what they were used for, they're literally stargates. They don't use the word stargate or the word portal, but that's what they were for. And that was under our captivity. When they came, they made their hybrid race, which we know now as a fallen angels, and we had to, how do I say it? We had to keep these pieces of shit fed, through a seed, hybrid seed called corn. That's their seed. That comes from the 9 lower realm. That's not nothing. That's not a real vegetables that we should be eating or anything. That's not our food. That's very detrimental to us. It causes cancer. Yeah. Corn is not of us. It's of the 9 lower realms. It's their seed. That's why when you hear the term corn fed, oh, that guy's corn fed. He's a big ass motherfucker. That's where that comes from. Of the Nephilim and the Canaanite giants. That was their seed. That's not our seed.
Think about what the government promotes, dude. The government, all that money behind corn, dude.
Look in your product, corn syrup, almost in everything that you eat.
Because the government
everything in the supermarket. When you go to a supermarket, everything that's in the middle aisles right there is made under a specific program, Agenda 21, to kill you, to depopulate the masses, especially those that have a high concentration of melanin. Because those people, not on any, racial shit, but those people's organs or melanated people, their organs are stronger. They live off organic shit off the land, and they removed all that shit from us. We can't grow our own food. We have to live under their laws and guidelines of what chemicals we're spraying on our food and stuff like that. That's going to kill us. I believe when we come out, when we're born into our captivity, and your parents sign over that birth certificate, which signs over your biological body to the federal government, and you're issued your stock and bond number, which is your social. I think that first set of immunization shots that they give you for whatever they want to come up with, polio or whatever, that takes a significant amount of time off the timeline that you're supposed to be living. I truly believe that.
Whoa.
That they're literally, they make that concrete, so you cannot leave the hospital without giving your child what they consider healthy for him.
Well, when my babies were born, I refused the Hep B shot, and I'm glad I have. And there's now controversy about why they're even getting that. And
Right.
I asked the pediatrician one day when I saw them out and about, I go, why? I've told this story before. Why are they giving kids party drug vaccinations? And
Right.
this person didn't have an answer.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you get an answer, though?
No, I got an answer from this other guy. I believe it's Riotcast. I think that's his name, who yells at me if I don't give him credit for it. One of the many people on Twitter that just seems to hate everything I do, but he was basically because of circumcisions. They blotch circumcisions that they have to give these kids Hep B shots.
And they just give the females just cause?
Because then people would ask, why just boys?
Damn.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think that society. I mean, schooling starts at home. So, I mean, I don't believe in the indoctrinational system. I think that people should start, like back in the days, get themselves their midwives or whatever and have their babies from home and stop getting all these immunization shots for their children. Stop believing everything that these so-called doctors are telling you that you should do.
Yeah, I'm in it right now because we want to figure out where our kids go to school.
I was about to say, so if you have a home birth, how do you get a social for them? Do you have to eventually say to the government, like, hey, I birthed this at home?
Right. That child will get sent. Oh, I'm sorry, bro. That child will get sent to most likely a FEMA camp until somebody takes custody. You're not going to be able to have that child at your home. He's not going to be considered under any law or any land. He's going to be like that one guy. I forgot his name. He was stuck at the airport. Remember that dude? He had to live at the airport for so many years. It's kind of a similar situation.
Man without a country, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what I want to say. So you're, and I agree with you. I'm going through this right now, trying to figure out my next move. I have friends who run homeschooling stuff. There's a lot of options right there that I'm trying to figure out what to do. It's kind of sad, man, but I just have a feeling people are waking up to all of it. Do you get nervous living in Los Angeles that this is somewhat of a free range reservation where they're just we think we're free, but are we? I mean, there's just so much going on in this town, like liquor stores on every corner, drug stores on every corner, the promotion. Listen, again, women can work. I don't mind that. That's not what my problem is. But, the push to, it's like, oh, my God, look, this was an all-female. Wasn't that the big...
The pilot, the overfly...
Yeah, they were all pilots. Female. Why do we care? Why is that important to you? Why does that mean anything to you?
Right. Yeah, we don't own anything here, bro. We don't own nothing. People are like, "Oh, I just paid off my house. Do you own the land?" No. "Oh, I just paid off my car. Stop paying your insurance. Can you drive that car?" No.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I just find this is just again a depopulation agenda, and what they do to women is. What they're doing to women is fast tracking them into jobs where they make a lot of money quickly, and then
no babies.
Yep.
Depopulation. You mean it's not depopulation, but you can't fucking have people. You can't populate nothing if you don't have kids.
100%, and that's what they're pushing women into. Is this
feminize the men also, so you have nobody to fight you back.
Yeah.
Nobody to fuck.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and you look at arranged marriages and they sound absolutely awful, and I can understand that. But look at the decisions on who's dating who and who's dating what. I mean, it's like nobody's dating for what's the best mate right now. I mean, it just doesn't seem like it.
Right.
And I have kids. I can't believe how great my kids are with two crazy people as their parents. I'll be honest with you. I'm not saying I'm above any of this, man. I'm not. But when you take a step back, you study it, you go, oh, there's a depopulation move. If you go, okay, this seems like something that culture's pushing, ask yourself, how does this help depopulation? And it's amazing how all the pieces of the puzzle fit.
Yeah, I truly believe that the whole occupation of Afghanistan and all that and Iraq was to take off that whole mindset of the elders. They still live in those old ways, bro, where they pick out the woman or the man for their daughters. They live by those old traditions, and they want to create a democracy just like over here in Babylon, the United States. Where they live just like us, where they remove the wraps from women's head. And it's not even taught why women cover their their whole bodies and they only reveal their eyes. And that was literally biblical history where they were taught that so they wouldn't tempt the luminaries, which were the angels.
Yeah, because everybody wants that ass. And you watch Instagram, it's like everywhere. It's just everywhere. It's just everywhere, and it's impossible to escape it. I mean, my Instagram feed, I start jujitsu tomorrow night just because my entire Instagram feed is just fighting. And when I go to search, you hit the magnifying glass, it's just all chicks and people fighting. So I just think everywhere you move, there's people swinging on each other. So I'm taking Krav Maga and jiu-jitsu. I'm so scared of everything.
Then when you activate it, just jack to the tits going around everywhere and, super emotional. So you're acting into your emotions, not grounded. Not. And all the rest of
the rest of the people that are hypnotized, because I do believe that they're using a program, hypnosis, to hypnotize people, are just right there recording everything. A badass accident. Put your damn phone down and go help them.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
You're so right. I saw this video the other day of this guy, and the guy is an idiot. He was photographing a elk, like a bull elk, and the elk, he was attacking him with the horns. Like, he was sitting on the ground, and it was trying to provoke him, and it was coming close to stabbing the guy with these sharp ass horns. And there's people in cars behind him just with their camera out, looking. Nobody helps the guy. The guy could have been easily killed. And then finally at the very end, somebody comes up in the car and he hops in. But anybody at any point could have driven ahead. But there's this whole it's described in psychology as the bystander effect. But it
comes out of New York, where people just watched this woman get murdered, and she was murdered over an hour, and nobody did anything.
It's an even more. It's like our phones put even another level of separation between us and everybody else. We already had the bystander effect was described before cell phones were ever a thing. Yeah. And now that's even another layer of difference. The dating apps do the same thing.
And if it's not the bystander effect and you catch my attention, I want to record it. If it's not the bystander effect, I'm walking by, I'm like, oh shit, wait up, before I help, let me record this because no one's gonna believe me.
Might go viral.
Exactly, might go viral.
And viral gets your nipples hard.
Clout.
Right. Everybody's trying to go TikTok viral or whatever the heck.
Yeah. So you're into flat Earth. Tell me your thoughts on that. Where we have a lot of listeners. Our number one of our top guests of all time is my best friend Eddie Bravo. He's been a flat earther forever. Big part of the opening up to that, to what that means. What are your thoughts on that?
So yeah, we're definitely on a flat Earth, a planet. That's where we get the whole word of a plane, an airplane. It flies over the plane of Earth, not a plateau. I could come up with so much stuff. A big thing.
Real quick, not to cut you off. I also get into that the person who came with the heliocentric model, which was us going around the sun, was a Jesuit priest. If you look at the Jesuits, their logo is a T. So you take the T, you put the end of plane, you get planet.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So we're surrounded by I want to say 200 foot. They like to use that 200 foot ice wall, which is called the Arctic Circle. Antarctica is not, it's not what people think it is. It's actually a 4 base mountain range of magnetite that's in the center. That's how we use our compass. And that's also how the sea animals use their navigation, how they go mate, because it either pushes or pulls. I forgot what the sensors are called. It's usually on the foreheads of dolphins. I'm gonna find the word for you. I don't remember the word right now. And a big thing I like to show people, I like to give them demonstrations. I learned from one of them was Rob Skiba, like I mentioned. Refraction. Everybody knows, or most people know, that there's water vapor in the sky out there, because people like to say, oh, well, the sun sets. And the sun actually doesn't ever set. It moves out of our perspective lens, our perspective view. And the more water vapor there is in the sky, the bigger the sun is going to look. So you could do a self experiment whenever you got time. You could get a glass of water, and you could put a number 2 pencil in there or whatever. And what is that going to do to the pencil. It's going to bend the object, but also as you move it further away from you, it's going to look like it's going down, and it actually doesn't. Like the sun, it looks like it's setting, but it's not. You could actually, if you have a high-powered lens, you could keep zooming in to the sun. If you look at videos taken from Alaska, you can see the sun going in a circular motion around and around. We're not going around the sun, flying at so many thousands of miles an hour, and flying through space and stuff like that. If that were true, then why do we see the same stars at night or luminaries? They say that those are nebulas. They call them black holes. They say there are other solar systems. Don't you think if we were flying that fast through a thing called space that we would see different ones by now?
Yeah.
So that's a big thing. What was the other thing I was going to say right now?
If you can't
Yeah, bro. So
I got a question for you. The question you always get is, why are they lying to us about it? What do they get out of that? What's your thoughts?
So my thoughts are to remove the whole thing about God, or what people assume to be God, which is not God. God is a deity, the man-made term. That his name, or if you want to go into biblical history, the correct pronunciation of the most or the creator would be Yahweh. Or Yah, Yahweh. It would be Y, or what the beginning letters of YAH, and that's actually what is crazy, because that's what the encoding of our DNA begins with. Well, Y, A, and H, and Scripture says that His name is written in us. So it actually is. And the correct pronunciation of who people think is Jesus Christ is named Yahweh Shai. So if people want to get the Torah, where Scripture comes from, and they want to look up these words in ancient Paleo Hebrew, those would be the correct pronunciation. If we were on video, I would show you how to write it out, but maybe next time.
So
yeah.
do you? So your belief is that God is a construct. So is there a God?
Yeah, I believe there's I believe there's a creator, and they want to remove that and base everything on science. That we're just molecules from this big explosion that became fish, and those fish became monkeys, and those monkeys became us. Okay, well, why is there still fish and monkeys? Like,
yeah,
it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, where is that? Where is that missing link that they want to go?
Right.
From, that's it, dude. I'm totally.
I believe it. Yeah, I believe it's bigger than that. We possess a lot of power, and they robbed us of that, of knowing that we're able to manifest change. But they're having us manifest their change. They're making these planets bigger. Look how big Saturn is. How big do they depict Saturn to be? A big ass planet, and what is the name of Saturn? What was that energy? It was for sex pedophilia. How much of that is going on right now? Maybe that must be why they depict that planet to be so big.
Yeah, I don't believe in the term Satan. I think someone said that has to do with the enemy, but I think Satan is just an offshoot of Saturn, Kronos, Baal, Moloch. I believe that. Right. I believe in that's what we're up against. I can't really get into that. There's no dark energy or any of that stuff in the universe. I think that's dismissing a lot of things. I wish we were on
video. I could show you, but like a big thing in the indigenous Mexica. We have the Aztec calendar, right? Or the Mayan calendar, which has the sun in the middle, or what people believe to be the sun, which in actuality, it wasn't the sun in the sky. It was the blacks in the hollow earth. That's what we sacrifice to.
Say that again?
It was the black sun. It's from the 9 lower realms.
Yeah,
and that's what we would sacrifice to.
Because they do say that's the sun. They say that's supposed to be the sun, but that definitely looks like a fucking demon. Now that you say it, like some Moloch.
Yeah.
The black sun. That was one of the earliest episodes we ever did on Tinfoil Hat. Back when Off the Grid was booking this, and it was very dark. I'm like, I look back on some of those episodes. I'm like, Jesus, what was he doing? Those are such dark episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm into all this. Dude, we got to get you in studio to have you and Eddie. We should do
That would be epic.
we should have both of you guys on to talk and go deep. Maybe we'll figure out a time. I know you're in LA. We would love to do it in studio. We're in Hollywood. I'm not sure how far away you are from us, but we would love to have
I'm
you
close, bro.
in studio, make this happen, bring Eddie in, and just have a meeting of the minds and go deep on all this shit.
Anytime, bro.
Hey, man. So we appreciate you coming on. We would love to have you back on. We'll do a longer episode then when we got video and we can make all this happen. And so we don't want to keep you too long. But one more time, Daniel, can you tell us where they can find you?
Okay, so you can find me on YouTube under Marvelous Minds. Minds is spelled with a Z. Or on Instagram, it's Marvelous Inc. _ tattoos. That's my Instagram page. My TikTok is the same as that. And my Facebook is under my name, Daniel Ayala.
Okay,
So-
well, we're going to include all these links in the description so you guys can grab them. And I know a lot of you guys wanted to hear more, and we're going to do more. We'll have a longer episode when we could have Daniel in here and we could bang it out. So, Daniel, thank you so much for coming on. We really do appreciate you.
Hey, thank you so much, guys.
I'm glad we could make this happen. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much, buddy.
Please stay tuned after these promos for a clip from Broken Simulation where we talk about the, quote, Chinese spy balloon and how it might relate to flat Earth.
All right, guys, real quick before we're done, we want to tell you about all of our affiliates. It's a great way to support the show. As you know, fiat money is chaos. Okay, fractional reserve banking, dangerous. The best way to get out of it is precious metals, in particular, silver and gold. And that's why we're working at Wise Wolf, okay? Wise Wolf, silver and gold. Just go to samtriple.com or samtriple.gold and you could join. And he's hooking you up. They got great you can either buy single time or you can sign up for their program where you can buy up to $500 a month. I'm doing it. I hope you can too. We also have everybody at Eagle Research. That's right. Eagle Research, AquaCure Mobile, Model AC50 brown gas, hydrogen brown gas. The guy who makes it says it's secure. People are using it. Check it out. Just go there, use the promo code tinfoil hat, 3 words, and get a discount. Go back to the main page, Sam Tripoli. You will get you get a discount with the promo code tinfoil. And then our good friends over at Haley Ray CrystalShop.com. Go to the promo code is
Swarm
15. Get 15% off all your crystals, all your quartz, all you name it. What do we got here? Look at all this stuff. All this stuff. All the best. You can do it right there. It's all part of the best crystal shop on the internet. Jewels, bracelets, clusters, you name it. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Candles, you name it. You got it. Swarm 15.
I was running around this week and it came across my Twitter that they had shot that Chinese balloon down. And I wanted to talk to you about that all week.
Yeah.
So I saw it was, I realized, hey, it's off the coast of South Carolina. Probably went over to my parents' house. So I talked to my family, and my sister texted me. She saw it get blown up. They were at Myrtle Beach, visiting Myrtle Beach.
Really?
And she said it sounded like a bomb exploding when it happened, when the thing got...
Did she say there's a bunch of people watching?
Well, she was in her hotel room, I think. But my brother-in-law was playing golf. He watched the whole thing, and his buddy got it all on video. Great video of it. My little nephew, who's 5, he has a way with. He said it was so loud, it made me want to vomit. Is what he said. It must have really rumbled, for him to feel that way, which I thought was interesting. But this whole thing with the balloon and satellites makes me think that one, they knew about it the whole time.
Johnny.
And 2, it makes me think a lot about these flat Earth people who talk about satellites all just being on balloons. Because that's what it looked, just like a satellite on a balloon.
100%, Johnny. And the biggest thing is, you're really naive. I'm not saying you, but anybody that believes that was from China. That's...
Well, they said it was from China. China said it was from China.
Dude, that is a straight up...
They said it was a mistake. They didn't mean for it to go over. But
Johnny, the question is, how does that get there? How is that allowed to get there? How is that allowed to enter the most
Oh, no.
fortified-
I see. Now that's the bullshit. They said it came across Alaska. They didn't even know about it. Went all the way from across Canada down into the Pacific North, or not the Midwest. And Canada didn't tell us about it when it came into our airspace, and we tracked it over the nuclear fields in Minnesota or wherever the shit. There's no way it came across Alaska, dude.
I think this is a U.S. government balloon. That's my opinion.
I think that maybe. Well, I think they definitely knew about it, whether it's theirs or not.
Yeah,
they definitely knew about it. See, there's a thought, and this is so interesting to me, that those balloons are supposed to be way higher than that normally. Even the spy balloons are supposed to never be low enough for you to see them. I think this could be one of these satellites that has something's wrong with it mechanically, and they needed to dispose of it before it landed. So they said, "Oh, look at this spy balloon come down here from the heavens."
Yeah, and they can use it to ramp up the Cold War with China.
Interesting, right?
Yeah,
A lot
I
of
think
angles.
it's very weird. And I don't buy into it at all. Like, listen, dude. All I'm told is that the U.S. airspace is the most fortified airspace on planet
Pearl
Earth.
Harbor.
And yet all this shit starts to just happen. So these things don't happen.
Sorry, I got the footage.
It's also, if you want to run it, you can. But it's also like when the Israeli prime minister got shot, or JFK gets shot, you don't get shot unless the people protecting you want you to get shot.
Oh yeah. Especially today. I mean, like shit. Just here it is. This is this Chinese spy balloon, so we're told.
Getting shot?
Yeah, it should be. You should see the jet coming in at some point here, or at least the. Hold on. Yeah, and see now. Look, that's just a satellite with a balloon on it.
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay, this is the jet intercepting it.
And the balloon's just like, I'm just hanging out.
And apparently they could navigate the balloon up and down and side to side, according to what I saw.
Who's they?
Whoever controlled it. So there it is, the
there it
projectile heading towards it, and then it just pops.
Poor
And it breaks
Chinese
up here.
balloon just wanted to be friends.
It's breaking up, coming down, and then there's this guy talking about it.
This guy's like, back in my day, we would allow this to happen.
That clip was from the latest episode of Broken Simulation. It's available on YouTube at youtube.com/SamTripoli and in every podcasting app. Please subscribe where you can because they are shadow banning the shit out of it. Thank you very much.
We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Tinfoil hack.